everybody, and welcome to the Marina Show. I'm your lovely host, Marina. That's why it's called the Marina Show. I'm here today joined by Carl. It's not the Carl Show, it's the Marina Show.
Yeah.
Hello, Carl.
How's it going?
What are you doing on my show?
Well, I'm here to talk about the trip I recently came from, which was to Bolivia.
Bolivia?
Bolivia.
Where in the world is Bolivia?
Bolivia is in South America beside Chile.
Sí, hablar español?
Un poco.
Sí, se puede.
Muy bien, está bien.
Está bien.
¿Y tú?
Sí. Un poquito.
Poquito? Sí, está bien.
Okay, so what were you doing in Bolivia?
It is one of a few trips that from our church that we have already visited the Coptic Orthodox Church in Bolivia, in the city Santa Cruz. And there is Emba Yusuf who's there, along with Abuna Anthony and Abuna Hedra. And they have a beautiful Coptic church and a beautiful Coptic community of native Bolivians.
Wow.
Yep.
I like to say that I've been to Bolivia myself, but I'll pretend I didn't. And why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
There was a group of 28 of us that went from the GTA area. It was mainly from the Mississauga St. Mary St. Athanasius Church under the Hope organization, helping others prosper everywhere.
Helping others prosper everywhere. Hope.
Hope. Yeah. Right. So some of the main goals that we wanted, that we went to achieve there, was to have fellowship with the existing church, to outreach to those that may be distant from the church or still not baptized, attend, or just have heard about the church and they can be reached out towards and just need the help. So the church is not just those that are baptized and long-time standing citizens of the church. It's really for Bolivians. There are a lot of programs and there are a lot of services that the church delivers besides Mass.
Excellent.
So, yes.
What are some of those services?
They have things from all ages. So there is currently a daycare that operates 2 blocks away, and it's a very good daycare with the support of churches like ours here in Ontario, as well as Montreal, as well as several churches in the States, and I believe Australia, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So that is supported by us, as well as the parents that fund to bring their child to this very good daycare. There's another daycare opening up as well outside of the city. There are services during the summer for health tips, for their computer lab, for those that need to study and do homework. They have a small library from everything from religious to scholastic material.
Good word, scholastic.
Yes, I practiced that before coming.
Excellent work.
Yeah.
So, Carl, we've been talking about the services a little bit in the church, and you went to Bolivia. What do you think the Bolivians need? What do the people there need? What are the people like? And what, not only services, but how can we help them?
There are a lot of ways to help them here, as well as if one is blessed with the opportunity to go there. So which one would you want me to start with?
How about if we were blessed with the opportunity to go there? What did you see? What did you experience?
To begin with, when you ask for any list, there's a lot of preparation before going there, if you do plan to go there. So some of the things you should prepare are Sunday school lessons and activities. The kids are amazing, and they're smart, and they do know their stories, but they're hungry for more. So prepare stories in Spanish. It's their culture, it's their native language. They're not going to understand you if you think that you can just get away with English. So be prepared to know their culture. Be prepared to communicate if Spanish may not be your first language. So use pictures, use different types of language like drama, skits, miming, games, interaction that they will be more than happy to engage in. So Sunday school lessons is one. Another thing that the Bolivians would need, I think, is just fellowship, social issues. So social issues outside of, or how to apply the Bible. But when I say, outside of the Bible, I mean things like violence, purity, when they are outside of the church, everything they see and they hear from those not of the church. What is right and what is wrong? So open discussions with them. If you prepare a question and answer period for them, the kids will be really involved. It is something that they have to learn from the church, otherwise they will learn outside of the church. And the church is the right way to learn. What is the right answer? So that is another thing we prepare.
I don't know the right answer.
And you know what? You'll be learning as much as they'll be learning.
Absolutely.
I took away probably more than I could give to the kids as well as the servants our age, and Sayyidina and Abuna. There's just so much love there, and it's really a two-way process of learning.
Absolutely. And so you said that you took away a lot more than almost than you can give. So what would you say was an experience that you took back home with you, something crisp that's still in your memory?
It's not something that I made up, but it's something that I'm going to tell everyone, hopefully as long as I can remember, which is you don't know love until you've went there. They're stripped down of all the layers and distractions that we have in North America. Their love and happiness started from the moment we got out of the gate of the airport at 1 a.m. in the morning, and 100 kids were waiting for us.
Wow.
And they prepared a few songs and a cultural dance and gave us each a card and flower with a personal welcome and thank you for coming, to the moment we left. And even kids like put their money together and took a taxi to make sure they can send us off right. And you know, I'll skip the part about, you know, getting all soft and maybe having some tears and just being really happy.
We want to be soft here on the Marina Show.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of love. There's a lot of happiness. So I came back with another reminder of not only staying down to, like, not only being a down-to-earth individual, but you have to stay there. You have to know that it's really the way to achieve salvation. Take off all the layers, take off all the distractions, and look at what is needed to be happy. You don't need any of it. And you can be even happier than you can fathom. Another word that you probably
fathom.
Like.
I enjoy that word.
Yes.
So are you saying that these people, would you say that they're happier than people that are in the working culture of North America?
I would say so. I would say so. They're satisfied, and they have a sense of happiness and love with their way of living. And generally here, we are never satisfied. Here we have vanity. Mm-hmm. They don't have that. Mm-hmm. They have a good sense of what's necessary. And I think we water down what we think is necessary. Mm-hmm. So it's a good reminder that I think everyone needs.
Carl, we're talking about what's necessary, and I feel like that's an abstract term, so tell me what they actually have. Tell me what this idea of necessity really is.
That's a good question.
Paint that picture for me.
Necessity is, I would say, all the things that are intangible. I'm going to keep saying love because that's, when I see these kids and you see God in them, I connected the picture of God is love. I saw love and I saw God in them. Like they don't hold back just the pure happiness. They can have 100 problems just like ourselves and our children do. But what makes it different is the strip down of the layers of the, let's say, the media that we have here. The peer pressure to satisfy so many different groups, socially and personally, as well as, let's say, in school and in family and in work. Mm-hmm. They have a good sense of family without being tied by blood relatives. It's, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's if you know of each other, you're already family. You all take care of each other. With next to nothing, you'll still share everything. And it's kind of different from what I see in North America and here in Canada, which is you keep what you have and build on it. Mm-hmm. And that's not what we're taught. What we're taught is to build up each other, is to edify each other. Mm-hmm. Edify, another word.
Edify. Excellent work, Carl.
Thank you.
And one more thing, perhaps I can share with you an experience that's just to relay what you were saying. When we were in Bolivia, and the children used to come to church, and their hair was perfect, and their faces were clean, and they were so hygienic, and they wore pristine clothes. And I said to myself, you know, we're coming here to serve a poor country. I don't really see it. a couple of days in, the bishop said to us, why don't we go visit the homes of these children? So I was totally excited to go visit the homes, thinking that I'd only see the same thing I'd seen in the church inside the homes. And I remember that being one of the most crystal clear moments of my life, because literally there's this song in Spanish called Casas de Cartón, which is houses of cardboard. Literally their houses are made a cubicle the size of this stage, and it's made of cardboard, and there's 4 to 5 people living in it, and there's clothes thrown everywhere, and they're just smiling.
Yes.
And they look at us and they see these expressions in our faces of absolute like woe that we have, and they say,
confusion.
I remember one of the kids was like, what's wrong? He was asking me what was wrong.
Right.
Because they don't have that sense of comparison, of always wanting to be what your neighbor has. They don't see that, and they're content. And at that moment in my life, I realized, just as you were saying, Carl, that contentment is so internal and so much outside of all of those things that we think will bring us contentment.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of the house visitations and how they look, you may never guess a kid or someone of our age what they go back to, what home they go back to, what community, what society they have to face once they walk out of the beautiful church that we have there. And it's exactly as you said, they take care of their clothes because it's the very precious little bit they may have. And they're going to a home where maybe not all of them attend church, or maybe don't live there permanently, you know, come and go, or just they could be kicked out of this home. It may not be their home, but they've made it their home for who knows how long, until they're told otherwise. And it's that confusion and that wake-up call that we are not used to and that we don't hear because it doesn't personally affect you, that I think we have to know, because our backyard extends to them. It extends to them, which means this is our family, and it is of our concern. And there are brothers and sisters that it's direct, whether we face it every day or not.
Absolutely, Carl. And just when you were talking, I feel as though you feel that the church itself is a refuge. It's a safe haven for these children. And something that our viewers might not know is that from what I experienced, about 90% of the parishioners of these churches are children. This Coptic church is built on the foundation of children. And I love your expression, Carl. I love what you said, that our backyards don't end here. We have to serve where God, and you told me before the show, where God calls us to serve and where God needs us to serve. So I'm really hoping that just watching the show and talking with you, that we really learn that the gates of our heart have to open so widely, beyond our culture, beyond our geography.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming to the Marina Show. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Gracias.
Mucho gracias, mi amigo Carla, por... I'm speaking in Italian, not Spanish. Thank you so much for coming. You have honestly enlightened my heart and brought me back to one of the most beautiful places I've been. Thank you so much for coming to the Marina Show.
De nada.
De nada. You are one of the greatest guests we've had. It means of nothing.
Yes.
But your presence was more than nothing. It was definitely something to me. Thank you, Carl. Viewers, we'll see you next time on The Marina Show.